They brought in Eddie Gilbert and I believe Brian Blair to team with you. Why didn't those teams really click?
I don't know. I mentioned to Brian once about something about selling, and he says, "Oh, you can't look too weak," So
Right.
that was on the wrong page, and I think Eddie was a little, being small. Sometimes he'd complain about, well, he hurt me.
Right.
He's a little bit stiff. And maybe there were bullies there. But, and then, of course, he takes some pain pills and...
The car wreck.
Yeah. Shit like that. I don't know exactly what happened, but it's unfortunate. I don't take any... I was put on pain pills and muscle relaxers for a pinched nerve in my neck, and I walked around like a zombie for like 6 weeks. I said, that's the last time. That was in 1980, and I haven't taken a prescription since.
It's like Tito.
Yeah, I don't even take it over the counter. Yeah.
What about Bob Backlund? What was Bob like as champion?
Yeah, Bob was good. He took it real serious, and he worked out like a maniac, and he just then everything was over. Like if I could do 100 push-ups, Bob would do 120. He had to go overboard on everything. Like hanging upside down, he'd hang upside down. I did it for 2 or 3 minutes maybe.
Right.
But Bob would do it for 15 minutes.
Was he one of the boys, or did he pretty much hang to himself?
He hung to himself. I think because of what was happening back then, it was, a lot of, what do you call?
Partying?
Yeah, a lot of partying, and, there was a lot of cocaine, marijuana, and stuff like that there. I don't think there was any heroin back then.
Okay. We were just talking about the partying scene like that. What was the party scene like in the 80s? Just lots of, back in the, now there's no there's no real drug scene in the wrestling business. It's totally different. Back then, what was the drug of choice, you think? Just uppers and downers? Because of the road and the travel and all.
Yeah, I noticed some guys, unfortunately, they passed away now, way too young. But they take uppers to work out and downers, after the workout. And then they take something after the matches, a pain pill or something, and go have a few beers. And then they take something to go to sleep. And if they had too many beers, like one guy regurgitated and he choked on his...
Right.
vomit,
You feel the business was the cause of a lot of the guys in the 90s to pass? Just from the lifestyle?
I believe so, yeah. I don't know. Myself, it was a job. And it wasn't going to last forever. So I could never get a straight answer from the old-time wrestlers. Like in 72 or 71 when I was in Australia, I said, well, how much can you make if you go, in the States, if you wrestle back then? And they'd say, it's not what you make, kid. It's how much you save. And a lot of them never saved a dime. There was one guy, he was in the business for 27 years, and he was on top in a lot of territories. And he told me, he said, I made $321,000 in my career. Over 21 years.
Right.
That's
$12,000
$12,000 a year or something, $15,000.
Before you retired, was there any talk of you going to anywhere else, or was the writing on the wall for you when you retired?
Yeah, I think the writing was on the wall. I didn't have it. When I was about 38, I lost my adrenaline rush. I used to get a good rush, before that. And then when Vince started all this new WWF FWW.
84
whatever.
you're talking when he took over the territories?
Yeah. And then he was bringing these guys in, and a lot of guys, you know, they were big, they looked good, and I was to put them over, but it's like I had to protect myself. I mean, I wasn't going to get, you know, my head knocked off, you know, so
right.
you could advance, you know. If you listen to me, I'll get you over, you know, good. I had a match with Ted Arcidi in Toronto, 62,000 people. I says, holy Jesus, what am I going to say? So I said to Ted, I says, you're going to work my back. You're going to work a bear hug, you know, big guy, and you'll beat me with it, you know. But I said, don't do anything. Don't do anything out of the blue. Listen to me. And he did. And we had it was a reasonable match.
Right.
You know. But he was green. And like as a babyface, I let the heel lead the match. There was one guy I worked with in Australia, Bruiser Brody. And he had this reputation, and I said, oh my God. And they put him and me on TV. And I said, Jesus. So I said, what do you want to do, you know? He says, we just call it by ear, you know? He was great. He adopted my style. You know, he's that big, rough and tough guy. He come in, we done high spots and, you know, reverses, and it was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
you know?
because you hear a lot of stories with Frank that he takes liberties with the guys and, you know, doesn't sell. And
But I think, you know, with some of that I've heard, it's been guys, that, you know, that don't want to do this, you know, don't want to do that. Well, if you're going to do something, you know, do it right, and it doesn't hurt you.
Right.
You know? I used to get as much sympathy or applause, you know, getting beat, because if I got beat, I got beat. You know, I'm not jumping up, you know, waving like this and dancing to my music, which I didn't have any.
Right.
You know, but people couldn't, you know, some of the guys, they don't understand the psychology of that's all it is, psychology.
Why do you think Vince and WWF were able to take out all their competitors so easily in the 80s, mid-80s?
Yeah, I don't know if it was that easy, but he went around, you know, it was like I say, it's either going to happen or it isn't. But, you know, he had to pay for his TVs in all these little towns. But the other guys, the Crockett's in South Carolina, they had a chance. They were in Ohio. They were in Toronto. You know,
Carolinas.
They had the Carolinas. Vern Gagne, he was in Denver. He was in San Francisco. They had a chance to do it, but you know, you needed TV, and you had to pay for TV, and it worked out. Now the TV's paying.
Yeah, paying you
paying
guys.
You, yeah. Oh, paying them, not me.
Right,
I'm not involved.
Of course.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.